So there you have it, a look at our final district of the Countdown to Kickoff 2011 preview show. We're talking about District 35A. You just saw it, all the Upper Valley 5A teams going at it in what is always a wide-open race. It's sometimes a little lacking on defense, but never lacking in drama. Jake, how do you see this? How do you see this district playing out?
This district's top-heavy. I mean, you have some experienced players coming back, especially for Memorial with Matthew Kaufman, and then you got some inexperienced teams that could make some noise at the end of the season. I think McAllen's is the biggest enigma because last year they went 0-5. But they have murderer's row as far as the first half of their schedule. I mean, they play Edinburgh. They played PSG Memorial last year.
They got the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears. They have Memorial. Sherryland at the end of the year. But they've got a hard early district, or the early part of the season. And Mackay could be just as good as 1 or 2 or 4. So are we making the picks right now?
Well,
I can start.
Go for it. Why
right.
not? Let's do it.
I'm looking at Sherryland. Sherryland's created something special over there. They've got good receivers. They've got a good attacking offense. I just think Sherryland has built something special over there. I think they're rolling right now, and I think this is the year that they can solidify that they're a program to be reckoned with there. Memorial second, and the reason for that is they have Matthew Kaufman, but their offensive line, it's going to be a whole new offensive line. And they lost Jake Garza. I mean, he's not coming back. He's going to focus on track. And I think, and a lot of people have been knocking it on my forums, is basically saying that, they didn't need Jake Garza. I think you do because he takes away a lot of heat for the inside receivers, the other receivers, and it creates open running lanes for Matthew Kaufman. I think if, Matthew Kaufman ran how many times at the end of the year? I mean, we just saw him basically be the running back.
Yeah.
He's, pinball out there. But I think this year it's going to be different. I don't think he'll have all the lanes that he usually does. So that's why I got them at second. And this is going to be a little bit of a shocker, I guess. I think Donna's going to be playing for more than just tradition. Yeah. I think it's going to be about playing for Coach Manny Moreno, who's basically playing for his job. And I think that they're going to surprise everybody this year. I think it's going to be more than just the 4 returning offensive starters and the 2 defensive starters. I think their whole team is going to play for him. I've got them shocking the world and getting third. And at 4, I've got Mackay because that early part of the season.
Right. They could come out of that early part of the season a much better team, or they could come out of that early part of the season a very injured team.
Yes.
Both things are definitely.
That's been their script. There's always some dramatic thing with Mackay the last couple of years, right? All right. Well, first of all, I'm gonna pick Memorial first because I believe that with 7 defensive starters and your 4-year starter quarterback from a team that went 3 deep in the playoffs, you'd be crazy not to pick them. I mean, just on its face, if you told me any team in the Valley had those amount of numbers and that amount of returning people, then I'll pick them.
You're calling me crazy?
Yeah, you're crazy.
Anybody, meaning Jake. Well, I mean, the bottom line is Sherryland's one of the best programs in the Valley. Everybody knows that. And so now we're going to see, like PSJ North to an extent, can they win 7 or 8 or 9 or more games based partially in the beginning on tradition. Because they don't have a lot of people that have been in the game. They don't have a lot of kids that have been in the varsity. Now, we know they have great athletes. They have great speeders. The coaching staff is second to none. They're going to be tough to beat. But I'm telling you that if you look at the experience level and who did what to whom, I just don't see how you don't pick Memorial over Sherryland. Of course, they're going to be mad at me again. You always have to bring that up. God dang. I think Mac Allen's going to be third because nobody wants to talk about Justin Salinas, the year he had. He's a great quarterback, man. I agree with you to an extent. With Memorial, going back to Memorial, having no Jake Garza is going to hurt them. Memorial is going to have to develop that line, but they got some big kids. They're going to be fine. What they're going to have to do is get more diverse. Because they can't have a quarterback running 30 times a game, and they know that. I'm not criticizing them at all, but they've got to get some running backs in there and some receiving options so that Matthew doesn't have to, be Alan Lowers in the 71 Longhorns. I mean, and they will. I think they're going to be fine. And then I got Rowe at 4 just because I believe in their coach. I think he's kind of a motivating guy, and it seems like they like him. They've always got athletes over there. They don't have a lot of returning athletes, and they lost a lot of that size. But for some reason, I just got the feeling about Rowe this year. I don't know why.
They were city champs last year.
Indeed.
Yeah, they were. They were. I do not have Rowe making the playoffs. I just think they've just lost way too many guys. If I can go ahead and make a pick for 2012, I think Rowe will make the playoffs in 2012 because they look good with their young guys, but they're just too inexperienced right now. What I've got is, this is a crazy, crazy district, and like you said, there's drama and always something crazy happening. That's why I've got the Mackay Bulldogs winning the district. Because crazy stuff always happens, and lately crazy stuff has happened against the Bulldogs. Isn't it about time that the Karma Circle came all the way around and did something good for the Bulldogs? That's basically the only reason.
But that's not a bad pick because they got some stars. They got the quarterback.
Yes, they do.
They got this Philip Cantu is a playmaker at corner. Snelling is another guy. It seems like he's been there for 27 years. He's a brute, man. That guy's a great. I don't know where they got him. I've seen him at linebacker, at tackle, or in. They've got some studs, man. Yeah, they got some players.
They've got players. If they can stay healthy after that gauntlet that you talked about, Jake, I think that they're going to be primed and ready to win this.
You got the interesting picture.
I've got Sherryland coming in second. I've got McCallum Memorial coming in 3, and then I've got Donna coming in 4th.
Oh.
I've got Donna coming in 4th. I think they're going to come back.
Donna. Well, it's the 50th anniversary of 1961 state champs. And by the way, that homecoming is going to be worth seeing because the documentary that's being done is going to be shown. It's going to be a big deal. You got to make it.
I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about what you guys have in store for this football season. Jake, let's talk about a couple of things. You guys are doing lots of high school football streaming and on the radio, and a radio show on Saturday mornings as well.
I hope not. My wife will kill me. We are going to have a radio show. It's called The Huddle with Tony Farina. It's on 8:40 a.m. and that's on every Saturday morning from 8 to 10. So you get a recap if you go to the JV games and the freshman games in the morning. Interviews with coaches. We've had a bunch of good coaches on so far.
Fantastic. So big things going for 956sports.com and the Huddle as well. Now, Greg, of course, everybody in the Valley who loves football, if you don't have a copy of Border Ball, the history of football in the Rio Grande Valley, you should go out and get one because it's fantastic. It's packed full of history, and I read it every year about this time. Reread it just because I want to get back up to date on it. And but you're working on another book right now.
Bottom line is there will be a book on the history of high school basketball in the Rio Grande Valley, patterned on Border Ball, roughly the same thing. At some point in time, I've already contacted some people and started to talk to them about the interview process. So I'm very excited. But look for that sometime. I don't know. It's not going to be next year, but it'll be about. The first one took me 30 months to come to fruition. So I'll be coming to talk to coaches and players and fans in the Valley about basketball history. So get your stories ready.
I have your book under my pillow, too.
And you can still pick up Border Ball as well.
That's right.
At stores across the Rio Grande Valley.
Barnes & Noble has it. Amazon has it. And I think the Linus Publications still has it, too. So
it goes to your favorite charity, yourself.
That's right. Yeah, I bought my wife an iPad with the latest revenue check. That's good. Yeah.
Jake Berry, Greg Selber, 956sports.com. We'll be following you guys all season. And thanks so much for joining us and giving your insight. We're coming right back on Countdown to Kickoff. We're going to wrap it up right after this.